Have you ever felt anger twist inside you like a knife, stealing your focus and draining your energy? How often does frustration hijack your peace, leaving you feeling like a prisoner of your own reactions? Here is a difficult truth to face. Each time you let these emotions dominate you, you are surrendering your personal power. They can feel so justified, like the world is against you and your irritation is the only logical response. But the ancient Stoic philosophers revealed a secret we frequently ignore. It is not the events of the world that create our disturbance. It is the lens through which we choose to view them. If you are perpetually reacting, if you are always a passenger to your feelings, then you are living without true autonomy. But what if that could all change, starting today? What if you could select serenity no matter the chaos unfolding around you? Stoicism provides the mental framework to escape this loop, to cease being a reactor and start becoming the master of your inner world. If you are prepared to stop being a casualty of your emotional storms and finally command your mind, you're in the right place. This is about fundamentally altering how you engage with existence. Your transformation begins now with a single decision to govern your own tranquility. Rule 1. Distinguish the event from your story about it. You are in traffic and another driver merges aggressively. Instant irritation. But let us pause that scene. What truly caused your upset? The physical act or the narrative you instantly constructed in your mind? The Stoic position is that occurrences are, in themselves, neutral. It is the significance we assign that births our emotional experience. Consider this. A car changing lanes could be interpreted in countless ways. You could view it as a personal insult, a threat to your safety, or a massive inconvenience designed to ruin your morning. Yet none of these meanings are embedded in the event itself. The car's movement is simply a fact. Everything that follows, that surge of heat, that tightened grip on the wheel, stems from the judgment you attach to it. The Stoic insight here is transformative. Circumstances are empty vessels. We fill them with value, making them good or bad. This is where your agency truly resides. Imagine just for a moment accepting the situation as entirely neutral. The car moved lanes. That is all. What if you decided it was not disrespectful, not an attack, and not a personal slight? What if you could simply observe it without permitting it to shatter your composure? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The core of inner peace isn't about rearranging the external universe. It's about revising your internal relationship to it. The merging car does not force frustration upon you. The frustration is a choice, born from your appraisal. The Stoic viewpoint asks us to insert a moment between what happens and how we respond, to stop and inquire, what is occurring and why is this my reaction? And here is the crucial part. Within that pause lies all your power. This is not about crushing your feelings or pretending you are not annoyed. It is about comprehending that your emotions are not inherently valid. They are products of your chosen interpretation. So the next time you feel that familiar heat rising, try this. Halt. Take 3 deliberate breaths. Ask yourself, is my distress coming from the fact or from the fiction I've wrapped around it? That momentary gap changes everything. It is a system reset. You cease being carried away by the temporary wave and regain command of your inner state. You are no longer on autopilot. You are responding with conscious choice. Picture yourself walking through life with a heavy sack on your back. Every annoyance, every sharp word, every delay adds weight. Eventually, the load becomes unbearable, and the smallest thing overwhelms you. But what if you could set that sack down? The Stoics teach us we carry that weight ourselves. It is the meaning we insist on adding. If we can learn to withhold the judgment, we release ourselves from the burden. You do not need to haul every perceived insult or delay with you. You can choose to leave them by the roadside. Consider every spark of anger as a training exercise in release. If you catch yourself attaching a painful story, you can consciously rewrite it and let the event flow through you without leaving a scar. The event is neutral. The story you tell is what holds the power. Rule 2. Anticipate human flaws. Let's be honest, people can be inconsiderate, selfish, and outright difficult. Someone jumps a cue, a friend breaks a promise, a coworker snaps without cause. It happens. We all know the sting of letting these actions under our skin. But what if the core issue isn't that people are flawed, but that we silently demand they be perfect? Marcus Aurelius began each day with a mental rehearsal. He reminded himself that the people he would meet would be prone to error. They would be interfering, forgetful, and self-absorbed. He did not expect saintly behavior. He prepared for human nature. And because of this preparation, their conduct rarely caught him off guard. Think about it. How often is your frustration rooted in someone not meeting your unspoken standard? You expected politeness, understanding, fairness. Their failure to deliver then becomes your upset. This is the trap. Expecting flawlessness from others guarantees disappointment. But if we adjust our mindset to anticipate imperfection, we liberate ourselves from so much unnecessary pain. So try this small shift with massive impact. Each morning, tell yourself, today I will encounter imperfect people, and that is perfectly normal. This one adjustment in expectation reshapes your entire day. When someone is rude or lets you down, you are far less likely to feel your peace is stolen. Instead of reacting with indignation, you can step back and think, this is simply part of the human experience. Their flaw does not have to become my disturbance. By anticipating imperfection, you also nurture compassion. Instead of anger, you can consider that the other person is likely wrestling with their own battles and limitations. Their rudeness is often a broadcast of their inner turmoil, not a targeted missile at you. When you stop demanding perfection, you stop taking their mistakes personally. It ceases to be about you versus them. It becomes about accepting our shared, flawed humanity. This shift does not mean you condone poor behavior or become a doormat. It means you refuse to let another person's shortcomings dictate your emotional weather. This ties directly to the Stoic principle of internal control. True peace is forged by managing your reactions, not by attempting to control the actions of everyone else. You cannot make people behave, but you can always choose how you behave in response. The key is detachment, separating your emotional well-being from the conduct of others. Their negativity does not have to become your inner climate. Imagine your day if you stopped personalizing every human error. A driver cuts you off, you simply note it and move on. A colleague is short with you, you let it pass without collecting it. This is the power of preparing for imperfection. It lets you move through life with greater ease, knowing the flaws of others are not emergencies you must solve. And here is the beautiful, unexpected benefit. This practice also teaches you to extend grace to yourself. When you stop expecting perfection from others, you naturally stop demanding it from yourself. We are all human. We all err. By accepting the flaws in others, you learn to treat yourself with more kindness and less harsh judgment. In a culture that often demands the ideal, expecting imperfection is a radical act of liberation. It frees you from the relentless cycle of unmet expectations. You stop measuring reality against an impossible standard and start appreciating it for what it is: messy, unpredictable, and perfectly human. So next time someone's behavior frustrates you, pause. Remind yourself, people are imperfect. That is okay. You will feel an immediate shift. The situation loses its weight. The anger loses its fuel. By changing your expectations, you become far less triggerable and infinitely more peaceful. Rule 3. Command your inner narrative. That voice in your head, the one that replays a harsh comment on a loop, amplifying it, twisting it, you know it well. It takes a minor moment and builds it into an epic drama that consumes your mental space. We have all been there. Someone says something unkind, and before we know it, our mind is spiraling, scripting rebuttals and reliving the hurt. But what if you didn't have to obey that voice? What if you could become its director? The Stoics grasped this deeply. They believed our thoughts sculpt our reality. It is not what happens, but the perception we form of it that truly dictates our experience. Epictetus stated, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." That changes the game. The events themselves are not the disruptors, our interpretations are. Think, an insult lands. If you let the initial thought, "How dare they?" take root, it snowballs. One angry thought breeds another, and soon you are consumed. But what if you could intercept that very first thought? That is the Stoic skill. The initial step to mastering peace is to catch that primal mental spark before it becomes a wildfire. If someone insults you, instead of letting the mind claim it as truth, pause and state, "This is their perspective, not my reality." Simple, yet profoundly powerful. When you replace the story of anger with a story of detachment, the insult's power evaporates. It becomes about their choice of words, not your worth. By governing that initial reaction, you reclaim your sovereignty. We all possess this running inner commentary that shapes our days. It is the constant chatter telling you how to feel and react. Most of the time, it operates on autopilot, leading us into emotional spirals without our conscious consent. The Stoic method involves catching that first thought before it runs the show. So, next time you are triggered by an insult, a delay, a frustration, pause. Catch that first thought. It might sound like, "This is so unfair," or "I don't deserve this." That is your moment of power. Stop it. Replace it with something constructive. I control my inner world, not this external event. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They were selective about where they placed their mental energy. Now, let's go deeper. Once you have caught and redirected that first thought, the next step is to speak to yourself like a compassionate mentor, not a critical enemy. We often berate ourselves for feeling anger. "Why am I so weak? I should be calmer." What if we spoke with the same understanding we'd offer a friend? When anger surfaces, don't condemn yourself. Inquire, is this emotion serving me? What can it reveal? This isn't about ignoring feelings. It's about guiding yourself through them with wisdom, not being overwhelmed by them. When you adopt this approach, your inner dialogue transforms. Instead of fanning the flames with negative self-talk, you guide yourself toward clarity and calm. As you become aware of your thoughts and take the helm of your inner narrative, you'll find emotions hold less sway over you. This takes practice, but it grows more natural. You begin to see that you are not your first thought. You are the conscious being who chooses the second one and the third. That is the essence of Stoic empowerment. You are not asked to suppress, but to select. The most vital part, do not let transient emotions dictate permanent actions. How often have you reacted impulsively and later regretted the words spoken in haste? The Stoic way is to pause before acting. To recognize the first thought is often emotional, but you hold the power to choose a wiser successor. When you start to command your inner dialogue, you start to command your peace. You are no longer a prisoner to passing storms. You become the steady captain of your own mind. Rule 4. Create the sacred pause. Have you felt anger surge and wished desperately for a stop button? The heat climbs your neck, your pulse quickens, your mind fills with retaliatory scripts. In that instant, it feels as if you have zero control, as if your emotions are in the driver's seat. But what if you could reclaim that control? What if instead of letting emotion dictate action, you could insert a deliberate gap and choose your response? This is the Stoic practice of the strategic pause. The Stoics knew that real strength is found not in impulsive reaction, but in the conscious space taken before we engage. Viktor Frankl, who endured the Holocaust, wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." This is among the most potent lessons we can integrate. In that brief interval between what occurs and how we reply, we hold the key to our serenity. We inhabit a fast-moving world where our triggers are constant. A snide remark, an unexpected obstacle, a work frustration, all can send us into a tailspin. It feels automatic. We react before we think. But the Stoics teach we are not slaves to impulse. We possess the ability to choose. That is Frankl's space. When something triggers us, there exists a tiny window where we decide our response. It's a buffer zone between the external world and our internal state. Instead of letting anger command us to say or do something regrettable, we can step back and select peace. Next time you feel that rise, try this simple, potent technique. Take 3 deep, conscious breaths. It sounds almost too easy, but it is remarkably effective. In those 3 breaths, you create that essential space. You fracture the automatic reaction chain. You regain command. What's happening is profound. You are refusing to let emotion dictate behavior. You are taking your power back. Visualize this. A car cuts you off. Your body tenses, your jaw clenches. But instead of lashing out, you pause. You breathe. You let the wave of frustration rise, peak, and pass. You are no longer a slave to impulse. In that pause, you choose calm. You choose to remain unshaken. It's a small act with monumental power to redirect your entire day. We sometimes believe we must express anger immediately or it will fester. The Stoics understood better. The goal is not suppression, it is conscious direction. By hitting your internal pause button, you grant yourself the space to decide. Is reacting the most beneficial course? This is strength, not weakness. It is an act of wisdom, a choice to stay rooted regardless of external turbulence. Consider how your interactions would improve if you practiced this pause. How many relationships have been strained by a snap reaction? The pause gifts you the chance to think before you act. It lets you reflect and ask, is this worth my energy? Is this response aligned with the person I aspire to be? In the heat of the moment, we forget this power exists, but it does. The pause is a moment of lucidity. It's the chance to step back from the emotion and decide. In practice, this pause isn't just breathing, it's growing more aware of your internal landscape. It's noticing the tension and realizing you need not act on it. You have the space to choose. You have the freedom to decide if this moment will define your mood. The pause liberates you from automatic, regret-prone behavior. It grants you the ability to stop and ask, what is the wisest, most aligned response here? And often, that wisest response is calm, clarity, and choosing peace over conflict. Here's the fascinating part. The more you practice the pause, the more instinctive it becomes. It's like building a mental muscle. At first, it may feel forced. You might react before remembering to pause. But with consistent practice, stepping back and breathing becomes your new default. The pause becomes your automatic response. You have trained yourself to respond, not react. And that is where authentic power lives. It applies to small frustrations too. The barista gets your order wrong. Someone interrupts you. These are perfect opportunities to drill the pause. Master it in minor moments, and you'll wield it effortlessly in major ones. This pause does not mean avoiding conflict or pretending you feel nothing. It means giving yourself the room to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. When you choose to pause, you choose to control your emotions, not be controlled by them. You choose to be the calm within the storm, not debris tossed in the chaos. This mindset shift is life-altering. It is something the Stoics drilled daily, reminding themselves that while external events were beyond command, their responses were always their own. In that moment of pause, you are not just changing a reaction, you are reshaping your character. You are building inner fortitude, wisdom, and resilience. You are conditioning yourself to meet life with poised intention, not chaotic impulse. Rule 5. Recognize it's not about you. We have all been there. A rude comment lands, and instantly your heart races, your face flushes, anger bubbles up. The primal urge is to retaliate, to defend, to match the sting with your own. It feels necessary, as if the hurt demands a reply. But consider this. What if another person's words are less a reflection of you and more a mirror of them? Let's pause and examine this. When someone speaks ill of you, the pain you feel isn't because their words are true. It's because you've allowed them entry into your mental sanctum, permitting them to shake your self-concept. Their words are about their inner world, not your intrinsic worth. Epictetus captured this. If someone speaks badly of you, remember they do so because they think it's right. This insight is key. The insult or criticism reveals the speaker's mindset, not your value. People act from their own beliefs, wounds, and perspectives, not from yours. So the next time someone lashes out, take that step back. Refuse to take it personally. Instead, remind yourself, this behavior springs from their own inner climate, their own state of being. The truth is, everyone is fighting battles you know nothing about. Often people lash out because they are in pain, insecure, or afraid. When you grasp this, you start to see their actions not as personal attacks, but as projections of their own struggle. This mental shift can revolutionize your daily experience. When insulted, you no longer feel compelled to absorb the negativity. You realize their words are not a verdict on your character, but a broadcast of their emotional weather. This is where peace finds its footing. This does not mean you agree with them or accept mistreatment. It means you refuse to let their opinion define your inner state. By not personalizing, you regain control of your emotional atmosphere. You stop being a pawn in someone else's emotional game. Think of the energy wasted carrying the hurt of others' words, replaying, dissecting, giving weight to something that is, at its core, their issue. When you stop taking it personally, you see the situation for what it is, their perspective, not your truth. You do not have to wear their negativity. It is theirs to carry. You can let it slide away. Here's a practical exercise. When a hurtful comment comes, before reacting, ask, what does this reveal about them, not about me? Shifting focus from self to the other's inner world offers a new lens. Their words likely stem from their own fears, frustrations, or misunderstandings. They may be dealing with hidden struggles. In that moment, their internal state is influencing their external behavior toward you. But you need not absorb it. You need not let it define you. You can choose to view their words as a reflection of their struggles, not an attack on your essence. When you embrace this mindset, something remarkable happens. You stop letting others dictate your emotional climate. Instead of being sucked into their drama, you remain centered, calm, and at peace. You become the observer of the situation, not a participant in its turmoil. The power to remain unshaken comes from controlling your response, not their actions. You stop reacting to the world and start responding with thoughtful choice. This does not mean you will never feel hurt. We are human. Emotions arise. Stoicism teaches we need not be ruled by them. Feelings of hurt or anger will surface. What matters is what you do next. You can acknowledge the feeling, experience it, and then choose not to let it dominate your mind. The key is in how you process and release, not in how you cling. The power of not personalizing is liberation. You release the hold others have over you. Your sense of self is not built on their opinions. You stand firm in your own truth. This mindset also cultivates compassion. When you stop taking things personally, you start to see the humanity in others. You understand everyone has struggles. Instead of reacting with defensiveness, you can approach with empathy. You don't excuse poor behavior, but you acknowledge its source. You choose to respond with grace, not mirror their negativity. By choosing not to take things personally, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. You create an inner peace that no external event can dismantle. It is freeing. It is empowering. It brings you closer to the unshakable tranquility Stoicism promises, a peace sourced from within, independent of the outer world. Next time someone aims an insult your way, remember, this is about them, not you. Their words are a window into their struggle, not a judgment on your worth. Pause, reflect, release their negativity. Your peace is yours to protect, and no one can take it unless you hand it over. Rule 6. Release it before it burns you. Anger is potent, but have you truly considered what it does to you? It is like clutching a burning ember. At first, it seems manageable, but the longer you hold on, the more severely you are burned. The Stoics understood this destructive dynamic perfectly. They taught not just to manage anger, but to release it swiftly, because the duration you cling to it dictates the damage to your peace, clarity, and balance. Anger does not punish the person who wronged you. It punishes you. It toxifies your thoughts, agitates your emotions, and drains your vitality. The Stoic position is clear. Clinging to anger is self-inflicted harm, and yet we cling. We think nursing the anger makes us justified, or that it might somehow rectify the situation. In reality, the opposite is true. The tighter we hold, the more control it exerts over us. Reflect on a time you were angry, perhaps over a traffic incident or a rude remark. How long did that anger persist? Seconds, hours, the lingering cloud? Here's the nature of anger. The longer we hold it, the more it muddies our judgment and capacity for clear thought. We have all felt frustration fester into bitterness, coloring everything. The Stoics knew this was not only harmful, but entirely unnecessary. Holding on to anger does not alter the situation. It does not elicit an apology. It does not make traffic move. It just traps you in a cycle of negative energy. The more you cling, the worse it feels. The moment you decide to release, your peace returns. The Stoic wisdom is precise. Recognize when you are holding anger and let it go quickly. This is not about suppressing the feeling. Anger is a natural signal. The Stoics teach we have the ability to choose when to drop it, freeing ourselves from its grip. When you find yourself in that cycle, acknowledge the anger, feel it fully, then let it go. The moment you do, you regain sovereignty. Instead of anger controlling you, you take back your peace. This is genuine freedom, your capacity to release what does not serve you. Imagine carrying a heavy rock all day. You grow accustomed to the weight, but it slows you, tires you. Anger operates similarly. Initially, it may feel like a necessary burden, a validation of your feelings. Over time, it just weighs you down, preventing forward movement. Like any weight, the sooner you drop it, the lighter you feel. The Stoics knew this. They didn't advocate bottling up. They taught that the instant we let go, we reclaim our serenity. But releasing isn't always simple, is it? It's hard to walk away from anger, especially when it feels righteous. The story you've built around it makes it seem essential. Here lies the paradox. The more you cling, the more it owns you. You trade your peace for something that offers no benefit. Carrying anger does not change the past. It does not affect the other person. All it does is anchor you in the past. It holds you back. This is why the Stoics emphasized swift release. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. It's a conscious choice to free yourself from a toxic emotion. When you make that choice, you stop being at the mercy of your feelings and start commanding your emotional state. Practically, this requires mindfulness. When feeling angry, notice it. Acknowledge it without judgment. Then ask, is holding on to this anger serving my highest good? The answer is often a clear no. The moment you realize this, you can choose to release. It might feel unnatural initially. With practice, it gets easier. The Stoics didn't expect overnight mastery. They knew breaking patterns, especially with powerful emotions like anger, takes time. But with practice, you'll find you don't need to hold on as you once did. You'll learn to release faster, discovering a peace and freedom you hadn't imagined possible. Consider this. By holding anger, you let another person's behavior control your emotional state. You let them dictate how you feel. That is self-sabotage. You cannot change their actions, but you can always change your response. When you drop the anger, you stop giving them power over you. The Stoics taught that true strength is self-mastery, not world control. When you let go of the burning ember, you reclaim that power. You take back control of your inner world. You stop being at the mercy of others and start living from a place of inner strength and peace. The key to mastering anger is understanding that clinging only hurts you. The other person may move on, unaware, but you bear the burden. Letting go is an act of profound self-care. It protects your peace, clarity, and emotional well-being. When you choose to drop it, you create space for calm, wisdom, and clear sight. The Stoics weren't advocating passivity. They weren't telling us to ignore injustice. They were teaching us to release anger's grip so we can make clear, rational decisions moving forward. Anger clouds judgment. When you release it, you clear the path for better choices. Remember, dropping anger doesn't mean you allow yourself to be mistreated. It doesn't mean you ignore wrongs. It means you don't let anger poison your response. You can stand firm, set boundaries, and address issues with clarity and wisdom, not bitterness. Next time you feel the burn of anger rising, take a step back, release it, let it go. The moment you do, you'll feel the weight lift. And in that moment, you'll realize you've reclaimed your peace and your power. That is where true freedom resides. Rule 7. See obstacles as instructors. Life is brimming with hurdles. Traffic jams, long waits, missed chances, fruitless arguments. We know them well. It's easy to get frustrated. These things disrupt our plans and our peace. But what if these very obstacles, these seeming setbacks, were actually opportunities? What if every irritation, every challenge was crafted to teach you something? The Stoics understood this at a profound level. Every obstacle is a teacher, they believed. Instead of viewing them as roadblocks, we could choose to see them as invitations for growth. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: the obstacle in the path becomes the path. In other words, the very thing standing in your way often becomes the means of your advancement. The challenges we meet do not block our success. They sculpt us, build us, force us to evolve into stronger versions of ourselves. Think for a moment. How often have you faced a setback, and your first instinct was frustration, defeat, or surrender? Maybe you were stuck in traffic en route to something important, or an unforeseen work problem derailed your day. It's natural to let these things get to us. We focus on the inconvenience, the annoyance, the deviation from plan. But what if we adjusted our perspective slightly? What if we viewed these not as problems, but as professors? The traffic jam. Perhaps it's a lesson in patience. The argument, a masterclass in communication. The missed opportunity, preparation for something greater awaiting you. The hurdles are not foes. They are part of the training regimen. The Stoics knew this well. The first step is to recognize when an obstacle appears. It could be trivial, a slow driver, or significant, a lost job. But the crucial part isn't the event. It's our reply. Instead of succumbing to frustration, take a breath and ask, what lesson is life offering me right now? In that moment of reflection, you open the door to growth. You shift focus from problem to potential. Instead of letting the hurdle throw you, you turn it into a chance to learn. This mindset shift is powerful. It's not about denying the obstacle's existence, but about recognizing that even the most difficult situations carry instruction. When you face a setback, remain open to the lesson. Life doesn't always deliver answers in the form we want, but it always has something to teach. Sometimes the lesson is subtle, learning to sit with discomfort. Other times, it's profound, revealing where you need to grow. Whatever it is, the Stoic principle stands. Every challenge is an opportunity to become more resilient, wiser, and stronger. The setbacks you face are integral to your growth. They are training you for what lies ahead. Imagine life if you stopped seeing obstacles as dead ends. Think of all the times frustration stole your peace. Now imagine taking those same moments and viewing them as stepping stones. Life doesn't follow our blueprint, but that doesn't mean it's opposing us. In fact, the Stoics would argue, life constantly presents challenges designed to forge us into better versions of ourselves. If we learn to embrace obstacles instead of resisting them, we grow stronger with each one. Obstacles aren't just things to endure. They are the very agents that build us into who we are meant to become. Reflect on your toughest challenges. At the time, they likely felt insurmountable, like the universe was against you. But in hindsight, how many were actually disguised opportunities? Perhaps a job loss led to a new career path. A friendship ending taught you about boundaries. What first felt like an obstacle was, in truth, a teacher in disguise. The Stoics knew life was full of these moments. They understood we can't control events, but we can always control our relationship to them. This mindset isn't passive acceptance of defeat. It's active ownership of your growth. When you face an obstacle, you don't just let life happen to you. You lean in, ask what you can learn, and use it as fuel for development. The obstacle becomes the path. The hurdle itself propels you forward. It challenges you to become more adaptable, resilient, and prepared for the next phase of your journey. Every setback, every difficult moment is another chance to level up. So, what can we learn from this? Next time something goes awry, next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, what can this teach me? Shift focus from problem to lesson. Embrace the obstacle as part of your training. Whether it's teaching patience, resilience, or better communication, take the lesson and let it shape you. By doing this, you move beyond merely surviving obstacles to thriving because of them. You cease being a victim of circumstance and start being an architect of your path. Every difficulty becomes a growth opportunity. When you start to see obstacles this way, something incredible happens. You stop fearing failure. You stop dreading setbacks. Instead, you see them as essential to your journey. You realize nothing is wasted. Every experience contributes to your growth. You stop running from hard moments and start moving toward them, knowing they are what will ultimately forge the best version of you. So, the next time life throws a curveball, remember, this is not a setback. It's a teacher in disguise. Embrace the lesson, learn from it, use it to become stronger. In doing so, you'll realize life's obstacles are not your enemies. They are your training ground, preparing you for greater things. Rule 8. Anchor in gratitude, for the present. We often expend tremendous energy wishing things were different, believing that if just one circumstance changed, we would finally be happy, peaceful, content. It's an easy trap. We look at others' lives or our own situation and imagine an alternate reality. But here is the truth: life does not owe you perfection. It is often far from it. The Stoics knew this deeply. They understood peace does not come from waiting for life to perfectly match our expectations. It comes from accepting reality as it is. They didn't avoid life's harshness, but they knew the key to serenity was found in embracing what is, not pining for what could be. Acceptance is not resignation. It is finding peace in the present moment. Instead of longing for a better reality, we can learn to find gratitude for the one we inhabit. It's easy to fall into the cycle of constant wanting. We look at our job, relationships, or current state and think, if only this were better, then I'd be happy. When we do that, we miss the peace available right now. The Stoics understood that resisting what is creates inner conflict. It's like fighting a river's current. You can't control the flow. Instead of battling life's natural course, the Stoics taught that peace comes from accepting things as they are and finding gratitude within them. Gratitude does not mean abandoning improvement. It means acknowledging what is good right now, even amidst imperfection. There is deep freedom in this practice. When we shift focus from lack to abundance, we stop wasting energy on frustration and start investing in peace. It doesn't mean we cease striving. It doesn't mean we ignore struggle. It means we no longer let our frustrations control us. We free ourselves from the trap of perpetual dissatisfaction by practicing gratitude for what is. And it's not about waiting for grand moments of thankfulness. It's about acknowledging the small, easily overlooked gifts: the warmth of morning coffee, the sound of birds, the support of a listening friend. These small moments are as worthy of gratitude as major milestones. In fact, practicing gratitude for the little things lays the foundation for lasting peace. Carl Jung observed, "What you resist persists." This rings true. The more we resist reality, the more energy we give to frustration. But when we shift focus to gratitude, when we embrace our current reality, imperfections and all, we reclaim power. We stop letting what we lack steal our joy. Instead, we recognize and appreciate the beauty and blessings already present. This isn't about ignoring challenges or pretending all is perfect. It's about acknowledging that even in imperfection, there is beauty. Even in struggle, there is strength. When we choose to focus there, we move toward peace. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a daily practice, a conscious choice. The Stoics were staunch believers. They didn't wait for perfection to express thanks. They chose to see the good in every situation, even when it wasn't obvious. This is a skill we can all cultivate. It requires presence, not perfection. When we take a moment to reflect on gratitude, no matter how small, we shift focus from lack to possession. In that shift, we find peace. Take a moment now. What are you grateful for? Perhaps the chance to learn something new today, or the comfort of your favorite chair, the food on your plate. No matter how small, pause and acknowledge it. It's easy to overlook life's small graces, but they constitute our daily experience. Gratitude is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. As you strengthen this muscle, you build a life where peace is no longer dependent on external conditions. It becomes something you generate from within, regardless of circumstance. Gratitude also builds resilience. When we focus on the good, we don't ignore challenges, we simply choose to see beyond them. The Stoics didn't pretend life was easy, but they chose to find meaning in adversity. By practicing gratitude, we find growth even in difficulty. It trains the mind to seek the silver lining, even under heavy clouds. This shift doesn't erase problems, but it helps us navigate them more effectively. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, we feel equipped. Gratitude makes us stronger by reminding us that even in tough moments, we are not powerless. Consistency is key. Gratitude isn't a sporadic act, it's a practice woven into daily life. It's easy to be thankful when all is well. The real power emerges when life feels hard, when obstacles loom. Choosing gratitude amid hardship doesn't ignore difficulty. It chooses to face it with a heart full of appreciation for what is still working. Gratitude offers a new lens. Through it, even dark moments seem a bit brighter. As you go through your day, find moments to pause and express thanks. Appreciate the sun's warmth, a stranger's kindness. Take seconds to truly feel it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. You'll start to feel more grounded, peaceful. You'll stop waiting for change to feel happy and instead feel content with what is, right here, right now. Gratitude transforms what we have into enough, and in that sufficiency we discover a deep, abiding peace. Ultimately, peace doesn't come from wishing life were different. It comes from accepting what is, finding joy in the present and being thankful for the simple blessings surrounding us daily. The Stoics mastered finding peace amid imperfection. Their wisdom can guide us to do the same. So next time you find yourself wishing for difference, pause. Ask, what am I grateful for right now? In that simple practice, you'll find the peace you seek. Rule 9. Direct your energy to your sphere of control. We spend so much time frustrated by things beyond our command. The weather, others' behavior, situations that unfold independently of our input. It's easy to get caught in these external factors, believing if we could just change them, everything would improve. We want to control the world around us, to align it perfectly with our desires. But here is the reality. You cannot control most things in life. The Stoics grasped this thoroughly. They taught that peace and happiness do not stem from controlling everything around you. They arise from learning to focus exclusively on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and your responses. Let everything else go. The Stoics believed true freedom comes from releasing the need to command the uncontrollable. Think, how many days have you spent stressed, upset, or angry over something you couldn't change? A delayed flight, someone cutting in line, situations we cannot alter, yet we often waste immense time and energy being upset about them. Here's the truth: wasting energy on the uncontrollable only drains your peace. It doesn't change the outcome, it just leaves you feeling frustrated and powerless. What the Stoics teach is this: reclaim your power by focusing on your sphere of control. And the one thing you can always control is how you respond. Let's be clear, focusing on what you can control doesn't mean you stop caring or cease striving for improvement. It doesn't mean you don't work to better your life. It means you shift energy from trying to change the unchangeable to changing what is within your influence. That's a critical distinction. The Stoics were not passive. They encouraged awareness of what you can change, and acceptance of what you cannot. In short, stop fighting what you cannot influence. Focus instead on how you think, act, and respond. Consider your day. How much of it was spent worrying about things completely outside your control? Perhaps you were upset by someone's words or a work situation. Break it down. You can't control others' words or actions. You can't control unforeseen circumstances. What you can control is your interpretation and your reaction. Now, let's get practical. Next time you face a difficult situation or feel frustrated by something unchangeable, stop. Ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. Instead of spinning your wheels trying to change the unchangeable, redirect energy to what you can influence. Focus on what's in your power, your thinking, your response, your next action. This simple mental shift can transform your experience. It is liberating to realize you don't have to carry the weight of the uncontrollable. It frees energy, leaving space to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your relationships, your peace. One way to apply this is to mentally list what's upsetting you, then ask, what can I control here? You'll likely find most items are beyond your reach. Once identified, take a breath and let them go. Stop investing energy in the unchangeable. Use that energy to focus on what you can control: your actions, mindset, reactions. By focusing here, you regain peace and power. There's another layer. The more you practice focusing on your sphere of control, the more you see challenges as growth opportunities. Instead of viewing setbacks as defeats, you begin to see them as ways to build resilience. For instance, if plans go awry, instead of stressing over the outcome, ask, what can I learn from this? This perspective helps you stay calm and grow simultaneously. You stop seeing the world as something to control and start seeing it as something to learn from. This is a core Stoic tenet. View challenges as lessons, not obstacles. We all have moments of feeling overwhelmed by uncontrollable forces. You work toward a goal, and despite effort, things don't go your way. It's easy to feel defeated. The Stoics teach us to shift focus from outcome to process. Instead of obsessing over the uncontrollable result, focus on what you can do right now. It's not about achieving perfection. It's about showing up, doing your best, and controlling what is within your reach. The moment you make this shift, you realize you are not powerless. You have power over your actions, your approach to challenges, your view of the world. This shift also helps you stop comparing yourself to others. When you focus on your sphere of control, you stop worrying about others' achievements. You realize everyone's journey is unique. Instead of envy over someone else's success, you focus on your own progress. You stop seeing others as competitors and start focusing on becoming your best self. It's incredibly freeing. It allows you to stop measuring your worth by external benchmarks. Your journey is your own. By focusing on your controllables, you move forward at your own pace. As you start practicing this, something remarkable occurs. You stop being a slave to circumstance. Instead of feeling tossed by life's unpredictability, you take charge of your responses. You realize that while you can't control what happens to you, you can always control how you meet it. This is where real power lives. Your emotional state no longer depends on external factors. It depends on your choices, mindset, and ability to focus on your sphere. When you truly embrace this, you find a calm confidence sourced from within. So, next time you feel upset about something unchangeable, remind yourself, this is beyond my control, but I control. My response: let it go. Focus on what you can change. Shift energy to your thoughts, actions, and responses. You have more control over your life than you think. Once you start focusing there, peace and growth arrive naturally. Rule 10. Wield the strength of silence. Anger can be an overpowering tide, building rapidly and feeling almost impossible to restrain. In that moment, the impulse to lash out, to speak your mind, to let others feel your ire is intensely strong. But what if, instead of reacting, you chose silence? What if, instead of letting emotion dictate your reply, you decided to remain quiet and let the moment pass? The Stoics knew that silence, employed strategically, is a tool of immense power. Sometimes saying nothing is the most potent response available. This isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending you're fine. It's about recognizing your silence as a form of control, a way to reclaim peace and maintain composure when the world seeks to provoke you. Next time someone insults you or cuts you off, try this. Say nothing. It sounds simple, but the power of silence is profound. By not reacting, you regain command of the situation. When you respond to an insult with silence, You deny the other person the satisfaction of eliciting a reaction. It's easy to feel we must defend ourselves when attacked, but Stoic practice teaches that sometimes the strongest move is to withhold words entirely. Silence is not weakness. It is a display of inner fortitude. It signals that you are in control of your emotions, not the other person. Reflect. How many times have you reacted in anger and later regretted it? Words spoken in heat cannot be retrieved. They can cause lasting damage to relationships and inner peace. Silence carries no such risk. In silence, we create that essential gap between stimulus and response. In that gap, we find the opportunity to regain control. It's a powerful tool because it reminds us we need not prove anything to anyone. We need not justify, defend, or retaliate. We can choose to stand our ground with quiet confidence. Silence also forces a pause for reflection. When insulted or triggered, the rush to retaliate is strong. But taking a moment of silence allows us to ask, what's really happening here? When we resist the urge for immediate reaction, we give ourselves space to reflect on the event and our feelings. Is the insult truly about us, or is it about the other's state of mind? Is this worth reacting to, or would silence better preserve my peace? By stepping back into silence, we open space to answer these questions thoughtfully, preventing impulsive regret. The art of silence is a practice. It doesn't come naturally, especially when we feel wronged. We are wired to defend, assert, react. But by practicing silence in daily interactions, we build that inner strength. Next time a driver cuts you off, instead of muttering or honking, try sitting in silence for a moment. Let the event pass without engagement. The first time, it may feel strange. With practice, it becomes natural. You'll find silence grants a sense of peace and power. You are no longer controlled by immediate reaction. You are responding from calm clarity. Silence also uniquely shifts interaction dynamics. When you choose silence in the face of provocation, it can disarm the other person. Your silence leaves them unsure how to react. Instead of feeding their negativity, you simply refuse to engage. Often this causes them to second-guess themselves. It forces them to confront their own behavior without a word from you. In silence, you maintain the upper hand. This doesn't mean silence is always the correct response. There are times to speak up, to set boundaries, stand for yourself, address injustice. But even then, there is power in choosing the right words at the right moment. Silence is not about conflict avoidance. It's about choosing to respond with intention and awareness, not emotion. Next time anger rises, remember silence gives you space to choose your response thoughtfully. It allows you to step out of the reactive cycle and into a place of control and clarity. The power of silence extends beyond anger management. It's a practice in self-discipline. By choosing silence, you choose to control your impulses. You choose to be the person who isn't swept into chaos, but stays grounded and composed. Silence teaches you that you need not participate in every drama or conflict. You can observe, reflect, and then choose whether to engage. This ability to detach and remain silent is not weakness. It is inner strength. It is the strength to not let the external world dictate your internal state. So next time you find yourself in a situation where anger is mounting, choose silence. Don't feel pressured to react in the moment. Take a deep breath, step back, allow yourself to process. Remember, silence is a choice. In that choice, you reclaim your peace. It's not always easy, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Over time, you'll find silence grants more control than any reaction ever could. Rule 11, redirect your attention. Anger often sneaks up when we least expect it, triggered by a rude remark, a traffic jam, a minor inconvenience. It pulls us in, making the entire world seem to revolve around that irritating moment. But the truth is, anger frequently arises when we focus on the wrong things. We fixate on the insult, the traffic, the small disruptions of our day. We give them our attention, and in return, they steal our peace. But what if we could shift our focus? What if instead of feeding the anger, we redirected our attention to something positive, something that brings clarity and calm? The Stoics, with their deep understanding of the mind, taught that our attention should be fixed on what truly matters: wisdom, growth, virtue. They knew the key to maintaining peace in chaos is by consciously choosing where we place our focus. Anger grows when we get caught in the small, uncontrollable aspects of life. When we focus on the negative, on what's wrong, we amplify those feelings. But when we choose to shift our attention to things that nourish our spirit, we drain anger's power. This isn't about denying frustration or pretending things don't bother us. It's about choosing to focus on what we can control, what brings us joy and peace. Think of the last time anger surged. What were you focusing on? Perhaps a careless comment, a feeling of disrespect, frustration from derailed plans. In that moment, your focus was entirely external. But what if you could step back and refocus your mind? Instead of letting external factors control your emotional state, you could turn attention to something meaningful: your goals, passions, growth. The Stoics taught our minds should focus on controllables, like how we respond and how we grow. Instead of letting anger consume you, channel that energy into something positive, something that serves you. When you feel anger rising, pause and redirect your focus. This simple shift can change everything. Instead of spiraling, think of something that excites you, something that lights you up. Whether it's a passionate project, a personal goal, or simply appreciating beauty around you, taking seconds to focus on the positive can pull you from anger's grip back to calm. It's not about dismissing reality, but about choosing where you place your energy. The more you practice this shift, the easier it becomes to break the cycle of anger. You begin to see anger often results from focusing on things unworthy of your attention. One powerful move when anger starts is to change your perspective. Anger feels justified when we believe we've been wronged. The Stoics remind us external events are beyond control. Our response is not. By choosing to focus on something positive, you take back control of your emotional state. This shift in focus is a reminder you are not a victim of circumstance. You are in charge of how you react. Instead of letting anger dictate actions, choose to channel that energy into something constructive. Focus on a personal project, ponder long-term goals, or simply appreciate small present joys. The key is not letting external events control your inner world. The Stoics knew life would present countless frustrating, painful challenges, but they also knew our response is what truly matters. Anger is often a response to our perception. By changing our focus, we can change our perception. Next time you're in a frustrating moment, remind yourself your emotional response is your choice. You don't have to let anger rule. Choose to focus on something that helps you grow, something that brings peace. The more you practice this focus shift, the easier it becomes. At first, it may feel challenging, especially when triggers are strong. Over time, you'll find you have more control over reactions. Instead of anger controlling you, you will be the one choosing how to respond. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to redirect attention to the positive. You'll realize you don't have to get caught in negativity. You can choose to focus on what serves you, what helps you grow, what brings peace. There's also a deep sense of freedom in this practice. When you stop letting external circumstances control your emotional state, you realize how much power you truly hold. The Stoics believed peace comes from within. By focusing on your controllables, you reclaim your peace. You stop allowing the external world to dictate how you feel. Instead, You create an inner calm that remains steady regardless of outer turbulence. This is where true strength lies, in your ability to focus on what matters and release what doesn't. Ultimately, this practice isn't about denying emotions. Anger is a natural human response. It's okay to feel it. The Stoics teach we don't have to let anger control us, our actions, decisions, or peace. By shifting focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable, we regain calm and clarity. We reclaim our power, and in that power, we find the strength to move through life with intention, wisdom, and peace. So next time anger rises, pause, ask, what am I choosing to focus on? Redirect your attention to what matters. Watch how swiftly your peace returns. Rule 12, starve the anger, don't feed it. Anger is a powerful force, but it can quickly turn destructive if we allow it to take the reins. It's like a beast that grows stronger the more we feed it. Initially, anger may feel justified, a natural response to perceived unfairness or wrong. But if we give in, if we keep feeding it with more frustration, resentment, and negative thoughts, it expands. What begins as a spark can become an uncontrollable fire, burning us from within. The Stoics understood this dynamic deeply. Anger is destructive, and the more you feed it, the more it harms you. Seneca captured it perfectly. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. In other words, holding on to anger often damages us more than the original wrong. When we feel anger rising, it's easy to indulge it. Our minds replay the injustice, feeding the beast with each repetitive thought. This only makes it stronger. The more we focus on what angered us, the more power we granted over our emotions. The Stoics knew this well. They didn't deny anger as a natural signal. Rather, they taught we have the power to choose whether we give it control. The moment we recognize anger within, we face a choice: feed it and let it grow, or starve it by turning our attention elsewhere. The key to mastering anger is learning to redirect focus before it consumes us. It sounds simpler than it is, but with practice, it becomes easier. The first step is simple recognition. The moment you become aware of rising tension, the heat in your chest, you've taken the first step toward regaining control. Recognizing anger is crucial because it allows you to step back before it takes over. Often we don't realize we're angry until it's too late. We've already reacted, lashed out, said things we regret. But if we learn to notice early signs, we can choose not to feed the beast. It's in those early moments we can decide to change focus, to stop feeding anger with more thoughts, and to let it starve. Seneca's words remind us anger doesn't just harm the target, it harms us. When we let anger fester, we allow it to control us. We become prisoners of our own emotion. Worse, like a beast, anger often returns for more. The more we feed it, the more it demands. It's a vicious cycle. But when we consciously choose to stop feeding it, we take our power back. Instead of reacting, we choose to pause and redirect attention. It might not be easy initially, but with practice it becomes second nature. So how do we stop feeding the anger beast? First, take a moment to breathe. When you feel anger rising, stop. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Give yourself a moment of space. This pause grants the opportunity to decide how you want to respond. Do you want to continue feeding the anger, letting it grow and control you? Or do you want to starve it to let it fade? The choice is yours. The moment you redirect focus, whether to something positive, your goals, or simple beauty, you stop feeding the beast. The Stoics were masters of this. They knew life would bring challenges and anger would arise. But they taught anger should not control us. We have the power to decide when we engage and when we let go. By shifting focus to things that matter, to things within our control, we weaken anger's grip. Instead of letting it take over, we take back control of our emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing anger or pretending it doesn't exist. It means recognizing it for what it is, a fleeting emotion that need not control us. Another way to starve the anger beast is by changing your perspective on the situation. Often we get angry because we feel wronged, disrespected, or misunderstood. By choosing to see the situation from a different angle, we can detach from the emotional reaction. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, focus on what you can learn. Perhaps the person who upset you is acting from their own pain. Maybe the situation is a chance to practice patience or self-control. By choosing to focus on the lesson, we remove the emotional charge. We stop feeding anger and instead feed our growth. This practice of not feeding anger also builds resilience. Each time you choose to let go of anger instead of indulging it, you grow stronger. You learn to control impulses and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. Over time, this makes you less likely to get caught in negative emotions. You stop giving your power away to external circumstances. You start feeling more grounded, in control of your emotions. The more you practice, the more you become accustomed to choosing peace over anger, calm over chaos, clarity over confusion. One of the most powerful aspects of not feeding the beast is the freedom it brings. When you choose not to engage with anger, you free yourself from its control. You stop letting others' actions dictate your emotional state. Imagine moving through your day without letting small inconveniences or irritations throw you off balance. Imagine not reacting in anger every time someone is disrespectful or plans go awry. By choosing not to feed anger, you create space for peace. You stop carrying the weight of negative emotions and embrace a calm not dependent on external events. When you decide not to feed anger, you also teach others how to treat you. People begin to recognize you are not easily provoked, that you don't engage in drama. This makes you less a target for negativity and sets a standard for how you should be treated. Instead of feeding into others' negativity, you maintain your peace. This doesn't mean you let people walk over you. It means you choose to respond with calm dignity and grace, regardless of their behavior. This emotional mastery is incredibly powerful. It changes not only your relationships with others, but your relationship with yourself. As you practice not feeding anger, you realize you are in control. The circumstances may be unpredictable, but your response is entirely up to you. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom. We cannot control the world, but we can always control our reactions. By choosing not to feed anger, we regain emotional sovereignty and find peace. The more we practice, the more we realize peace isn't something we wait for. It's something we create moment by moment, choice by choice. So next time anger begins to rise, take a step back. Recognize it for what it is, a beast that grows stronger the more you feed it. Instead of feeding it, choose to starve it. Shift focus to something positive. Redirect energy to what you can control. You have the power to choose peace over anger. Every time you make that choice, you build a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Rule 13. Cultivate the discipline of patience. Patience is a quality often undervalued, yet it holds the potential to transform how we experience the world. In our fast-paced existence, it's easy to forget patience's power. We rush, push, hurry to the next thing. But in that haste, we often miss the opportunity to be present and respond with calm instead of frustration. Patience, however, is a Stoic virtue that teaches us to slow down, to breathe before reacting. It's not about letting life pass by. It's about learning to handle life's challenges with grace and control. Patience isn't merely waiting, it's about how we conduct ourselves during the wait, how we manage emotions and choose to move forward when things don't go as planned. The Stoics understood much of our suffering springs from impatience, our desire for things to be different, for situations to unfold as we wish. for people to behave as we expect. Patience is about accepting that life doesn't always follow our timeline. Instead of growing frustrated, we learn to adjust, adapt, and continue with composure. This doesn't mean we ignore problems or become passive. It means we don't let frustration or anger cloud our judgment or actions. True patience is about cultivating inner strength in the face of life's irritations. When you practice patience, you're not just passively enduring annoyances. Patience allows you to create that vital space between stimulus and response, giving you the chance to choose your reaction rather than reacting on impulse. Think of the last time your patience was tested, perhaps in traffic or with a difficult person. In that moment, did you react from frustration, or did you pause, breathe, and respond with a calm mind? In those moments, patience is your superpower. Instead of letting frustration take hold, you choose to handle it with composure. This choice benefits you in the moment and builds resilience for future challenges. One of patience's most powerful aspects is its ability to break the cycle of reactive emotions. When we're impatient, we react quickly, often with regret. When we practice patience, we give ourselves space to respond thoughtfully, to choose our reaction. It's like stepping out of the automatic reaction loop into a place of control. And this isn't just for big dramas. Patience can be practiced in small, everyday situations. Waiting in line, dealing with a rude comment, navigating a setback. The more we practice patience in minor moments, the easier it is to stay calm when major challenges arise. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This quote perfectly reminds us that patience is an act of self-mastery. It's a choice to take control over our emotions rather than letting them control us. It's about learning to respond with wisdom instead of reacting from frustration. This applies not just to anger, but to every part of life. Patience helps us navigate challenges with clarity and calm. When we're not in a rush, we think more clearly, make better decisions, and maintain peace even when plans go awry. We live in a world of instant gratification. We want things fast food, fast internet, quick results. This expectation of speed often leads to frustration when things don't happen on our timeline. Patience teaches us to slow down, to accept that some things take time, that sometimes the best outcomes arrive when we're willing to wait. It's not always easy. It requires practice. But patience is a skill that improves with every moment we choose to cultivate it. Next time you find yourself growing impatient, take a step back and pause. Whether stuck in traffic or dealing with a difficult person, ask, "How can I respond with patience right now?" This simple question can alter your reaction's course. Instead of immediately feeling frustrated, you create a moment of awareness where you can choose a different path. It might be as simple as taking a deep breath, reminding yourself this moment is temporary, or focusing on something positive within your control. In that pause, you'll find your power. One effective way to practice patience is to remind yourself that not everything is within your control. We often grow impatient when we want things to happen on our terms, on our schedule. But life doesn't always cooperate. When we practice patience, we're learning to accept that some things are beyond our hands. This doesn't mean giving up on goals. It means accepting that the timing may not be ours to command. Rather than frustration, we can practice patience by focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, responses. Patience is also a great teacher in dealing with others. People can be frustrating, rude, inconsiderate, difficult to understand. Rather than reacting with anger, patience allows us to step back and see from their perspective. Maybe the frustrating person is having a bad day. Maybe they're dealing with unknown struggles. Patience helps us approach with empathy instead of judgment, building better relationships and enabling more thoughtful responses to difficult situations. In every interaction, patience is key to maintaining your peace. Whether dealing with a difficult person or waiting for something, patience allows you to stay grounded. It doesn't mean you let things slide or ignore problems. It means you choose to respond from calm, not frustration. Patience helps you handle life's challenges with wisdom, keeping your peace intact no matter what comes. And here's the beauty. Patience enhances every aspect of life. It improves decision-making because when you're not in a rush, you think more clearly. It enhances relationships because you respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally. Most importantly, patience gives you the freedom to live on your own terms, not controlled by the external world. As you begin to practice patience more intentionally, you'll see benefits in your life. Things that once irritated you lose their power. You feel more in control of emotions, more at peace with life's unpredictability. Patience teaches us to flow with life, to release attachment to perfection, to accept things as they are. In doing so, we become stronger, wiser, more resilient. So next time you feel frustration building, remember, patience is your ally. Take a moment to pause, breathe, reflect on how you can approach the situation with calm wisdom. Patience isn't just waiting, it's responding with grace. And in that grace, you'll find the strength to handle whatever life sends your way. Rule 14. Lower the weight of your expectations. Expectations are curious things. We construct them in our minds, crafting an ideal version of how things should be. We expect people to act certain ways, life to follow our plan, the world to align with our desires. But more often than not, we end up feeling disappointed, frustrated, let down. The truth is, expectations are a breeding ground for frustration. They set us up for failure before we even begin. And the more we cling to them, the more we tether our happiness and peace to something entirely outside our control. But here, the Stoics offer a profound lesson. Instead of pouring all our energy into managing external outcomes and others' actions, we should focus on managing our own responses. This shift, though subtle, has the power to transform our experience of life. We all know the feeling of high expectations unmet. Whether expecting someone to be there for you, expecting plans to go smoothly, or expecting fair treatment, disappointment strikes hard when reality diverges from vision. The Stoics teach us to shift away from these expectations and focus more on our internal reactions. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, like others' behavior or life's unfolding, we should focus on how we respond. We can't control others' actions, but we can control our reactions. And when we lower our expectations, we free ourselves from disappointment's grip and open the door to peace. Expecting little from others isn't about cynicism or giving up on people. It's about accepting the reality that people by nature are imperfect. They will disappoint you, let you down, act in ways misaligned with your values. And that's okay. When we understand no one is perfect, that everyone has struggles and flaws, we approach relationships with more empathy and less frustration. The Stoics weren't suggesting we stop caring or loving. They encouraged letting go of the unrealistic expectation that people will always meet our needs or desires. Instead, we shift focus to what we can control, our own reactions. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This applies to expectations. Part of becoming ourselves is letting go of the shoulds, those mental constructs dictating how things should be, how people should behave, how life should unfold. These shoulds often lead to frustration because they set an ideal reality hard, if not impossible, to achieve. Instead, when we practice lowering expectations, we begin to accept life as it is, not as we wish it would be. This shift doesn't mean we abandon standards or goals. It means we no longer let disappointment control us when things don't go our way. Lowering expectations of others doesn't mean lowering your standards or accepting poor treatment. It means releasing the pressure of demanding perfection or ideal behavior from people in your life. People will make mistakes. They will act in disappointing ways. Sometimes they'll fall short. But instead of letting that destroy your peace, let it go. Remind yourself their actions don't define your happiness. You are not at the mercy of their behavior. By shifting focus to how you respond, you can find peace regardless of what others do. This is a powerful tool, especially in relationships, with family, friends, colleagues. We often set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting others to act as we want, to treat us a certain way, respond a particular manner, meet our emotional needs. When expectations aren't met, we end up hurt, angry, resentful. The Stoics would say the key to peace is not trying to control others' behavior, but learning to control our reaction. If we can accept others for who they are without the added weight of our expectations, we can approach relationships with more compassion, understanding, and peace. Consider the energy spent holding on to expectations. We stress over what others will do or say, how situations will unfold, whether plans will succeed. But when we let go of these shoulds and accept things as they are, our lives become less stressful, more peaceful. We stop waiting for the world to change to meet our standards. Instead, we change our perspective and find peace within. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means choosing to embrace the present moment without the burden of unrealistic expectations. One of the most liberating aspects of lowering expectations is the freedom it brings. When you stop clinging to rigid expectations, you free yourself from constant disappointment. You stop living in a world where things must be a certain way for you to be happy. Instead, you find contentment in the present, regardless of whether things unfold exactly as you want. The Stoics believe true freedom comes from accepting life as it is, not as we wish it would be. This acceptance doesn't mean we stop striving for better. It means we stop being attached to how those things unfold. We focus on what we can control and let go of the rest. Practically, this means consciously letting go of your shoulds. Next time you're upset because something didn't go as expected, pause. Remind yourself life isn't about meeting your expectations. Life is about responding with wisdom and accepting what is. When you release the pressure to control everything around you, you create space for peace, contentment, acceptance. Instead of frustration, you can choose to respond with understanding and grace. Knowing your peace doesn't depend on anyone else's actions. You don't need to chase perfection. You can find happiness in life's imperfections. This perspective shift can also help you stop comparing yourself to others. We often set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, believing we should be doing better, achieving more, living a different life. But when we let go of these shoulds, we stop measuring our worth by comparisons and external standards. We begin to appreciate ourselves for who we are, finding peace in our own journey without needing constant validation or comparison. By practicing this rule, you realize the less you expect from others, the more you free yourself to live with peace and freedom. When you stop clinging to rigid expectations, you give yourself space to respond to life with greater clarity, wisdom, resilience. You stop letting others' actions control your emotional state. You choose to be in charge of your own peace. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to live with less frustration, less stress, more contentment. So next time you feel upset by someone or something, remind yourself, life doesn't owe me perfection. I will lower my expectations, accept what is, and find peace in the process. Rule 15. Remember, everything is temporary. We often get caught in the heat of the moment. When anger flares, frustration mounts, or life seems off course, we become so absorbed in the present that it feels like the situation will last forever, that the emotions we feel are permanent. But here is the thing, nothing lasts forever. Everything is temporary. This is a lesson the Stoics embraced fully. They understood both good and bad moments are fleeting, and this understanding helped them find peace amid chaos. Anger, frustration, and their triggers will pass. It's not easy to accept in the heat of the moment, but the Stoic practice of embracing impermanence can be one of the most powerful tools for staying grounded. Imagine a tough day. Something goes wrong, and anger fills you. The more you think about it, the more consuming it feels. But the truth is that feeling of anger will pass. It always does. Anger isn't permanent, nor is the situation that triggered it. The Stoics would tell you your anger, no matter how intense now, is a temporary response to a temporary situation. It might feel like the world is closing in, but remember, the intensity of your feelings, like everything in life, is impermanent. We often forget this in the thick of things. When upset, it can feel like we'll never find peace again, but that's simply not true. When you embrace the truth that everything is temporary, it becomes easier to navigate tough moments. The Stoics believed recognizing life's impermanence is a key to inner peace. By remembering even the hardest moments won't last forever, we stop letting them define us. Instead of allowing anger or frustration to control us, we can remind ourselves, this too shall pass. With that simple truth, we can let go of the moment and regain control over our emotions. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." This applies not just to accepting our qualities, but also to accepting the temporary nature of everything, even our emotions. When we can accept that our anger, like all emotions, is a passing phase, we free ourselves from its grip. Recognizing emotions as temporary helps us detach. Instead of identifying with anger or frustration, we can see them for what they are, temporary responses to current events. This doesn't mean ignoring feelings. It means not letting them define us. By accepting their impermanence, we allow ourselves to process them and move on rather than staying stuck in negativity. When you're in an emotional storm, it's easy to feel it will never end. But by focusing on the temporary nature of all things, we can shift perspective. Our anger is no different from weather. It will pass. The rain stops, the sun returns, our feelings subside. Knowing that helps us step back and realize our emotions are part of the human experience, not permanent states. We don't have to cling to anger or frustration because, in time, they'll fade. The Stoics used this understanding to stay grounded. They didn't waste time lamenting the past or worrying about the future. They focused on the present, knowing nothing, neither joy nor sorrow, lasts forever. By embracing this truth, we free ourselves from the need to control or manipulate the situation. We understand we don't have to change things immediately. We simply wait, stay calm, trust the moment will pass. This allows us to approach life with more ease, less resistance. Take a moment to reflect on your toughest times. At the time, they likely felt eternal. But looking back, you see they passed. Everything passes, good or bad. The anger or frustration you feel now will pass too. It's important to remember these moments don't define us. They are fleeting experiences. When you accept the temporary nature of emotions, you can detach, acknowledge without being consumed, and move on with your day. So next time anger rises, try this. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, this too shall pass. This simple affirmation helps you step back and see the situation for what it is, a temporary emotional response. By embracing impermanence, you avoid being swept away by feelings. Instead of getting caught in the intensity, you remain grounded, knowing anger is a passing wave. It doesn't have to control you. This practice also helps in interactions. When someone insults you or treats you unfairly, It's easy to feel it's the end of the world. But when you remind yourself these moments are fleeting, you free yourself from taking things too personally. Instead of reacting from anger, you can step back, recognize the impermanence, and respond with more calm. You're no longer held hostage by emotions. You become an observer. This shift not only helps manage anger, but builds emotional resilience. Another benefit of embracing impermanence is that it helps practice patience and acceptance. When you know things won't last forever, you're less likely to resist or fight them. You can let the moment pass naturally without forcing change or trying to control. Whether waiting for someone to come around or giving yourself time to process feelings, knowing the moment is temporary helps you remain at peace. The Stoics understood. Peace comes not from changing the world, but from accepting it as it is. By embracing impermanence, we also learn to be more present. When not consumed by fear that things will always be as they are now, we can focus on what truly matters. We let go of the need to control the uncontrollable and pour energy into what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, responses. This is how we reclaim our peace. In conclusion, when anger rises, frustration sets in, or life throws a curveball, remember this simple truth: this too shall pass. Anger, like all things, is temporary. When we embrace our emotions' impermanence, we stop letting them control us. Instead of fighting feelings or letting them define reality, we choose to let them pass, knowing peace is always around the corner. Life is ever-changing. By accepting this, we find strength to face whatever comes with calm, clarity, confidence. So next time you're caught in an emotional storm, pause. Remind yourself this moment is temporary, and you are stronger than this feeling. Remember, no matter what you face, it will pass. Embrace the impermanence of your emotions. In doing so, find strength to rise above them. You have the power to choose peace, even amidst chaos. Thank you for being part of the Stoic Mindset Mastery community. If this resonated with you, please like this video. It truly helps our channel grow. To continue your journey toward inner peace and self-mastery, be sure to subscribe to Stoic Mindset Mastery and explore our other content. Stay grounded, stay calm, and always choose to live with intention.